Alright, so here is the third video for business and accounting. Ang topic natin for today under ng basic accounting, chart of accounts, debit and credit, and then recording of business transactions. So first off, what is a chart of accounts? So every business, normally, meron na silang established chart of accounts. Dito nakalagay yung mga account titles na ginagamit nila for recording. So, depende kasi sa business kung anong mga accounts yung applicable sa kanila. Kunwari, ang business ay engaged in trading, reselling ng products. So, ang income nila, normally, sales. Kung wala silang pinaprovide na service, so hindi na nila kailangan gumamit ng service income na account. So, sa chart of accounts, yung applicable lang sa business. Kung magre-record ka ng transactions, ang susundan mo na account titles ay yung makikita mo lang sa chart of accounts ng business. Huwag kang gagamit ng ibang accounts, huwag kang magdadagdag ng ibang accounts. Kung ano lang yung makikita mo sa chart of accounts, hanapin mo doon yung pinaka-applicable for the transaction. So, kunwari, sa business, ang gamit niyang account sa pagre-record ng utilities ay utilities expense. So, sa chart of accounts niya, yun lang yung meron. Wala siyang separate account title for electricity expense, water expense, communication expense. So, pag nagbayad sa business ng kuryente, entry mo kay utilities expense kasi yun yung nasa chart of account niya. Pag nagbayad siya ng bill ng tubig, entry mo ay kay utilities expense din. Okay? So, ang main point dito, follow what's in the chart of accounts. Okay? So, for new businesses, so definitely, they would think kung ano na yung mga magiging transactions nila in the future. Tapos yun yung way nila ng pag-construct no chart of accounts. Siguro during the first year, medyo may isip sila na additional account titles for their chart of accounts. And then, as they go on, mag-operate na sila for a number of years, definitely, magkakaroon sila ng established chart of accounts. Okay? So, normally, pag nagtrabaho ka for established businesses, definitely, meron silang chart of accounts na sinusundan. Okay? Yung mga previous nilang financial statements, andun na yung mga account titles. Makikita mo sa schedules or dun sa financial reports mismo. Okay? So, example tayo ng chart of accounts. Ito po ay sa isang service company. Oh, wait. Segue muna. In case na hindi ka pa familiar with the types of businesses, so, pwede kasi silang maging service, merchandising, or manufacturing. Service, kapag walang binibentang products, tao lang na tumatrabaho or machine na tumatrabaho. Example, nag-hire ka ng lawyer, nangangailangan ka ng accountant, nakipag-appointment ka with a doctor or with an engineer, architect, caregiver, driver, so what else? Typist, encoder, layout artist, graphic designer, interior designer. So, ito yung mga types of services. Okay? And the next one, merchandising. Kunwari, bumili ka ng products, tapos ibebenta mo as is. Kung ano mo siya binili, ganun mo din siya ibebenta. So, similar terms. For this ay reseller or trader. So, paano ka kumita sa merchandising? So, syempre, papatungan mo yung cost mo. Tapos, yun yung magsiserve mo as profit. Okay? So, kunwari, binili mo for 100 pesos yung product, ibenta mo siya ng 120 or any amount basta mas mataas dun sa cost na 100. And then, yung third one is manufacturing. So, factory, pagawaan. So, kunwari ay paggawa ng damit, sapatos, sabon, bag, computer, gadgets, tela, mga ganyan. Okay? So, bumipili sila ng tinatawag nating raw materials. So, paano gumawa ng sabon? So, di ba may mga chemicals or ingredients na kailangan, tapos ipaprocess sila para maging sabon. So, yun yung manufacturing. Okay? Yung iba na nagre-rent, so I think it's more appropriate to classify them under service or hybrid na lang para swak. So, technically, di ba, they manufacture the place na pinaparentahan nila or binili nila yung equipment na pinarerentahan nila. So, syempre, pwedeng kanila din yung operation or operator or maintenance ng building or equipment. So, in that case, hybrid siya ng manufacturing and service or hybrid ng merchandising and service. Okay, so yung mga fast food chains, yan yung madalas gamitin example sa klase. So, service ba sila, merchandising, or manufacturing? So, I mean, di ba, you have crews, waiters, servers na nagsaserve ng pagkain, naglilinis ng table, so they're service. Then you have products na yung iba resale lang naman nila, like yung soft drinks, di ba? So, merchandising yon. Tapos, they cook meals. Raw chicken to fried chicken, raw beef to burger. Tapos, so yun, meron din silang portion na manufacturing. So, ang conclusion natin dyan, hybrid. Okay, it's not pure service, not pure merchandising, not pure manufacturing. So, it's a bit of everything. So, hybrid. Okay? Tapos, ang argument. Wag ipagpilitan na pure service, pure merchandising, or pure manufacturing. Okay, balik tayo kay chart of accounts at example natin. Okay, so ito yung chart of accounts for a service company. So, we have account codes, itong nasa left side. Tapos, ito yung ating tinatawag na account titles. Okay, so normally, diba, start ng accounting equation natin is assets. So, mauuna yung mga assets. So, normally, ganito yung codes, pero syempre, dependent ito sa gusto ng company. Pero normally, ganito yung coding niya. So, 100 for assets. Heading lang naman kasi ito assets. And then you have 101 for cash. And then you have accounts receivable, notes receivable, supplies, tools, furniture and fixtures, office equipment, repair equipment. Okay? Yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga account titles, normally for assets, nakabase siya sa liquidity. Pag sinabi nating liquidity, yung gaano siya kadaling i-convert sa cash. Okay? So, syempre, mauna yung cash kasi cash na siya. Accounts receivable, di ba, ito yung kinokollect lang sa customer. So, pag na-collect na from accounts receivable, magiging na siyang cash. So, yan, kaya kasunod lang siya ni cash. Note receivable, ganun din. Pag kinolect mo siya from customer, magiging cash na din siya. Pero compared kay accounts receivable, kasi medyo mas mahaba yung term ng notes receivable. Normally, more than 60 days or 90 days, ganyan. And then, you have your supplies. So, kapag supplies kasi, normally, hindi naman siya convertible to cash kapag gagamitin siya ng company. Pero since mas matagal siyang gamitin, let's say for 1 year siyang gagamitin ng company, so yan, kaya kasunod siya normally ng receivables. And then, you have your tools. If you would notice, ito 101, 102, 103, 104. Ang assets, they can be classified into current or non-current. So, pag sinabing current, ibig sabihin, ginagamit siya for the operations ng business. Okay, so they have your cash, you have your receivables from customers. So, very direct and related sa operation ng business. You have your supplies. And then, itong kasunod, you have 110, 111, 112, 113. Tools, furniture and fixtures, office equipment, repair equipment. So, these are, ito yung tinatawag natin na non-current assets. Kaya siya tinawag na non-current asset kasi normally, more than 1 year yung pwede mo silang gamitin. Okay, di ba when you buy tables, chairs, normally hindi lang naman isang taon mo siyang gagamitin sa business. Tumatagal sila ng 2 years, 3 years, di ba? Maraming taon. So, that's why they are called non-current. Okay, so, pag ginawan mo to ng subheading pa, pwede mong lagyan dito ng current assets, tapos dito, lagyan mo ng subheading na non-current asset. Okay? Pero for simplicity lang nitong ating illustration, under lahat sila ng cash. Okay? Hindi ko pa nga sila nilagyan dito ng tinatawag na accumulated depreciation. Pero that's in the next video, video number 4, we will be discussing depreciation. Okay? And then we have the second part of the chart, liabilities naman. Okay, so 200 liabilities. So we have, ang liabilities, meron din siyang sub-classification na current or non-current. Kapag current, either normal part siya ng operation, kagaya ng accounts payable, di ba? Kasi bumibili ka ng supplies from supplier, tapos ginagamit mo sa business yung binili mo from them, tapos eventually babayaran mo sila. So, it's, part of the normal operation ng business, kaya kinaklasify siya as current liabilities. And then yung note payable, depende sa term niya, kung siya ay less than 1 year, so current ang kanyang classification. Pag more than 1 year or 12 months after the end of the reporting period, so ka-classify natin siya as non-current liability. Okay? Then we have loan payable. Normally, long-term siya, pero kapag siya ay malapit ng mag-due, ay malapit ng bayaran, within 12 months, babayaran na siya. So, ililipat siya into current liabilities. Okay? Mortgage payable, yan din. Okay? So, ito, pwede mo siyang lagyan ng subheading na current liab or non-current liab. And then, third part niya, we have owner's equity, capital, withdrawal or drawing, and then we have income summary. Okay? So, itong capital, kapag sole proprietor, isang owner lang, yung surname niya, and then, comma, capital. And then, for the withdrawal, you have your surname, comma, and then drawing. Pag nagbigay yung owner ng pera, sinegregate niya for the exclusive use ng business, edi i-record siya as capital ng business. And then, kapag naman kumuha siya ng pera from the business for his personal use, ginamit niyang pansarili, edi ibabawas. So, in that case, re-record natin siya under nung drawing or withdrawal. And then, itong income summary, at the end of every year, di ba, sa-summarize ng business yung kanyang income and expenses. Yung neto nun, yung difference, isasara siya sa isasara kasi yung mga accounts na yon sa income summary. Tapos yung income summary, isasara or i-close, ita-transfer, ililipat sa capital account. Okay? That would be later. Madidiscuss din natin yan. Okay? Overview lang muna ng chart of accounts for today. Then we have revenue and expenses. So these are both under ng equity pa din kasi kino-close kasi siya ay sa equity account. So ito, for this particular business, ang kanyang operation ay involved lang siya sa repairs and rental. Okay? So since yun lang yung source of income niya, yun lang din yung inilagay niya na account titles for the revenue niya or mga income. Okay? Repair and rental. And then for the expenses, ito yung mga naisip nila magiging expenses nila eventually during the operation ng kanilang business. So, meron tayong office supplies, syempre. Rent expense, let's say, inuupahan lang din nila yung kanilang office building or kung ano man yung kanilang inuupahan. Pwedeng equipment din or something. And then we have salaries expense, insurance, advertising, light and water, utilities, depreciation, para dito sa mga non-current assets nila. Later, again, yung discussion natin ng depreciation, in-depth discussion, next video. And then, ito, miscellaneous expenses, kapag hindi naman madalas na expense ng company, tapos hindi siya classifiable dito sa mga naunang expenses, so lagay mo na lang siya sa miscellaneous expense na account. Okay? So again, basic accounting pa lang yung ating discussion. So yung mga other account titles, huwag nyo munang hanapin. Later na lang sa higher accounting na subject na. Magkakaroon din tayong discussion for that. So to note dito sa ating chart of accounts, so again yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya, mauna syempre assets and then liabilities. You have your equity. And then, after that, you have your revenue accounts, tapos expenses account. Okay? Okay, so recording of transactions na tayo, pero parang review pa rin siya ng debit and credit natin. So, di ba yung accounting equation natin is assets equals liabilities plus equity. Pero yung expanded version natin is ADE equals LIC or assets plus drawing plus expenses equals liability, income, and then capital. Okay, so to review, etong tatlong account types na ito, assets, drawing, saka expenses, ang normal side nila is the debit side. So, any increases or karagdagan para dito sa mga account na to, nagkaroon ng asset, nadagdagan ng asset, nag-withdraw ang owner or nagkaroon ng expenses or kagastusan yung business, ang entry would be to debit. Okay, i-debit yung account. Tapos, any decreases naman or kabawasan para dun sa account, kabilang side, so credit ang magiging entry. And then, itong kabilang side, credit side, we have liabilities, income, saka capital. Okay, so any increases para sa utang, income, kita ng business, saka capital or puhunan, ang entry natin would be to credit side. Okay, tapos any decreases dito sa tatlong account na to, ay di debit side ang entry. Okay? With that out of the way, let's start with some basic transactions sa isang service company. Okay? So, di ba kanina meron tayong chart of accounts na pinakita. So, ang gagamitin natin for the transactions would be itong mga account titles na ito. Kung alin yung applicable. Okay, first transaction. Tutor invested $250,000 to start an auto repair business. So, yung owner, Mr. Tutor, nag-invest siya ng $250,000 cash para pasimulan yung business. So, nagkaroon ng cash yung business, increase in asset. Ang asset, nasa debit side. So, ang entry natin, debit to cash. Tapos, ang credit to capital kasi naglagay siya ng puhunan sa business and dito siya sa credit side. So, ang ating credit account would be Tutor Capital. Okay? Second transaction, Tutor invested his tools costing $30,000 in the business. Okay. Pwedeng gawing puhunan ng isang business owner, hindi lang cash. Okay. Kung meron siyang mga gamit na pwedeng ibigay sa business, gamitin sa business, pwede din yan. Okay. So, in this case, tools ang in-invest ng owner. Ang value, monetary value, $30,000. Okay. So, ang ating debit account would be tools, asset ito, mga kagamitan sa pagbe-business. And then, credit to capital. Okay, kasi nagdagdag siya ng puhunan in the form of tools. And then, third transaction, bought a computer from B company for cash, $20,000. Other terms dito, bought, acquired. Okay, ibig sabihin, bumili yung business ng gamit, computer from a company for cash. Ibig sabihin, binayaran ng cash. Okay? Amount, $20,000. So, nadagdagan ng asset in the form of office equipment. So, debit to office equipment. Pero, nabawasan din yung asset in the form of cash kasi binayaran ng cash. So, asset yon kabawasan sa asset. So, kaya siya naging credit side. Kasi kabawasan. Pag-increase sa debit, pag-decrease sa credit, okay? In terms, with regards to cash. Fourth transaction, bought tables and chairs from C company on credit, $15,000. Bumili ulit, tables and chairs naman, so furniture and fixture. Debit to furniture and fixture. On credit, ibig sabihin, utang muna, hindi pa siya binabayaran ng cash. So, on credit. Ang credit niya is, tumaas yung liability kasi nagkautang. So, credit to accounts payable. On credit. Pag sinabing on credit, edi simpleng accounts payable lang. Pag sinabing nag-issue ng note, saka lang yung note payable gagamitin. Kagaya dito sa fifth transaction. So, issued a promissory note for repair equipment bought, $40,000. So, nagkaroon ng repair equipment, increase in asset, so debit to repair equipment. And then, hindi siya binayaran in cash. Tapos, nag-issue siya ng promissory note. So, very clear na note payable siya. Increase in liability in the form of note payable. So, ang credit is to note payable. Okay? Alright, sixth transaction, borrowed money from the bank, $15,000. So, nangutang ng pera sa bangko. So, nagkaroon sila ng cash, diba? So, increase in asset. So, debit to cash. Tapos, tumaas din yung kanilang utang kasi nangutang sila eh. So, increase in liability, credit to loans payable. Okay? Next transaction, received cash for repair service, $10,000. Di ba sila ay repair business? So, nagkaroon sila ng customer, tapos itong si customer, nagbayad siya ng $10,000. So, nakatanggap sila ng cash. So, increase in asset, debit to cash. Tapos, income, increase in income kasi kumita na sila. So, credit to repair income. Ano? Ito. And then, 8th transaction, billed Mr. D, a customer for repair service rendered, 8,000. So, nagkaroon sila ng customer, pero itong customer na to, hindi siya nagbayad in cash. So, binigyan ng statement of account or proof na meron silang matatanggap na kabayaran from the customer. So, increase in asset in the form of accounts receivable. So, debit to accounts receivable. Tapos, nag-render sila ng service, diba? So, increase in income, repair income. Again, kapag nag-render na ng service yung isang company or naibenta na nila or naibigay na nila yung product na binili ng customer, regardless na hindi pa sila napabayaran, i-recognize na siya agad as income ng business. Okay? So, have to record income, credit to income. 9th transaction, received a promissory note, 10,000 for repair service rendered. Okay? So, yun. Pag merong customer, either magbabayad sila in cash or utang muna, accounts receivable, or mag-i-issue din yung customer ng promissory note. So, note receivable naman. Okay? So, this time, 10,000 for repair service rendered. Increase in asset, receivable, debit to note receivable. Increase in income, credit to repair income. Okay? 10th transaction, bought office supplies for cash, 12,000. Bumili ng supplies in cash. So, increase in asset, supplies, So, dito, siguro, etong company na to, since maliit lang naman yung value ng supplies, so hindi na nila lodge sa supplies account or sa asset account. Pwede kasing pagkabili nila is, ginagamit na rin agad nila sa operation. So, in this case, increase in expense naman siya. So, debit to supplies expense. Tapos, since binayaran siya in cash, so credit to cash. Okay? Next transaction, paid rent for the office space, 5,000. So, nangungupahan lang sila dun sa kanilang pwesto. So, increase in expense. So, debit to rent expense. And then, nagbayad sila ng cash kasi paid ang sabi, di ba? So, nagbayad sila in cash. Decrease in asset, so credit to cash. Next transaction, paid the salaries of the employees, 20,000. So, increase in expenses. Debit to salaries expense. And then, kabawasan sa asset kasi binayaran nila. Ang word na ginamit ay paid. So, credit to cash. And then, number 13, a portion of the office space is being subleased to a tenant and received 1,000 as payment of the rental. So, nangungupahan sila ng office, pero siguro merong extra na room na hindi nila ginagamit, so pinagamit nila sa ibang tao for a fee. Okay? Rent payment din. So, although nangungupahan sila, meron din silang portion na pinapaupahan sa iba. Sublease ang tawag. Okay? So, meron silang increase in asset kasi may nagbayad ng cash. So, debit to cash, and then increase in income, kasi diba rental income, nagbayad sa kanila yung pinapaupa nila. So, credit to rental income. 14, the owner withdrew cash for personal use. So, etong owner, nag-withdraw ng cash for personal use. Okay? So, drawing siya, increase in drawing. So, debit to tutor drawing. And then, kabawasan sa asset. So, credit to cash. Number 15, paid C company partially. So, di ba earlier, meron silang binili from C company. Tapos, utang muna. Ngayon, babayaran din nila, pero partial lang, 10,000 lang. Okay? Since nagbayad sila, so, kabawasan sa utang, kabawasan din sa cash. Okay? So, kabawasan sa utang, di ba normal side ng liability ay credit. Pero since kabawasan, debit natin to accounts payable. And then, yung cash, normal side niya is debit. Pero since, again, kabawasan kasi pinambayad natin, credit to cash. Okay? 16, pay the promissory note. Yung nasa transaction number 5 kanina. So, nagbayad ng utang. Okay? So, kabawasan sa liability, debit to note payable. Kasi promissory note yun kanina. Ayan. Tapos, kabawasan sa asset kasi binayaran yung utang. So, credit to cash. Number 17, pay the loan in full. Yung transaction number 6 kanina. So, loans payable siya kanina, binayaran na ngayon. So, debit natin ngayon yung liability account na loan payable. Tapos, binayaran siya in cash. So, credit natin yung cash. Number 18, collected partially the account of Mr. D. Di ba yung receivable natin kanina? Na-collect na siya ngayon. Partially lang, 5,000 only. So, naka-receive tayo ng cash, debit to cash. Tapos, since na-receive na natin yung account, kabawasan na siya sa accounts receivable. So, credit to accounts receivable. And then, collected a promissory note under ng transaction number 9. So, natanggap na yung receivable. So, asset, increase in asset, debit to cash. Tapos, decrease din in asset kasi natanggap na natin yung note receivable. So, credit to note receivable. Next transaction, mortgage the repair equipment as collateral for a loan, 15,000. So, anong kaibahan ba ng loan payable sa mortgage payable? Mortgage payable, ibig sabihin, kapag hindi nakabayad itong si debtor or yung umutang, merong other asset na nakaabang. Pag hindi nakabayad, kukunin yung, example dito is yung repair equipment. Okay? In case na hindi makabayad si tutor, business na tutor, yung repair equipment is kukunin nung nagpautang. Okay? So, dito, mortgage, the repair equipment for a loan, 15,000. Naka-note lang na siya ay naka-mortgage yung repair equipment, pero at this point na transaction, hindi siya affected. Okay? So, yung business, umutang, so nagkaroon ng increase in asset, debit to cash. Tapos, nagkaroon din ng increase in liability, so credit to mortgage payable. Okay? Very specific na type ng payable. Kasi yun yung nakalagay sa kanyang chart of account. Meron siyang mortgage payable. Kung wala itong account na to, dun sa kanyang chart of account, so pwede natin gamitin din yung loan payable na account. Next transaction, issued a promissory note for C company to settle the account in full, 5,000. Ayan, so nag-issue ng promissory note. Kanina, accounts payable na siya, nung company. Pero siguro medyo napatagal, hindi agad nabayaran yung balanse. So, instead na pabayaan siyang accounts payable lang, nag-issue na ngayon itong si company ng note payable. Kasi normally, yung note payable, may kakibat na siyang interest. Pag binayaran mo yung note payable, pag napatagal siya, sasamahan mo ng konting interest. So, debit siya to accounts payable. Ika-cancel na yung accounts payable kanina. So, decrease in liability. Pero, increase din siya in liability kasi nilipat lang siya from accounts payable. Nag-issue ng note. So, magiging na siyang note payable. Okay? So, nawala yung accounts payable, naging note payable. Next, received a promissory note from Mr. D, 3,000 in full payment of his account. Okay, dito naman yung business naman na nakatanggap ng promissory note. Merong accounts receivable from Mr. D, pero matagal na. Siguro natagalan niya, hindi nakabayad, so nag-issue na siya ng promissory note naman. Okay? So, increase siya in asset, so debit to note receivable, but decrease din siya in asset, so credit to accounts receivable. Okay, so kumbaga, change lang din from accounts receivable to note receivable. Next, pay the following expenses, advertising and insurance. Okay, so kagastusan, expenses. So debit to expense accounts. Advertising expense, saka insurance, and then credit to cash. Okay, kasi paid yung word na ginamit. Okay, so binayaran in cash. Bought tables, 8,000. Tapos, ang binayaran lang ay 2,000. Okay, yung down payment. So, yung balance, di accounts payable. So, increase in asset, debit to furniture and fixture. Tapos, kabawasan sa asset para dun sa 2,000 na binayaran. So, credit to cash, 2,000. And then, yung balance, liability naman, accounts payable, credit to accounts payable, 6,000. Next, billed a customer for repair service rendered, 6,000 and collected half. Okay, 6,000 yung total pero ang na-collect lang ay kalahati. So, merong increase in asset, cash para dun sa nakolekta na kalahati. So, 6,000 times 50% or divided by 2. Cash, 3,000. And then yung balance, receivable. Accounts receivable, 3,000 din. Credit natin siya to income. Okay? For repair service rendered. So, credit to repair income. Okay? So, dito meron tayong tinatawag na simple entry. Journal entry na isa lang ang debit, isa lang ang credit. Tapos, meron din tayong tinatawag na compound entry. Yung tipong either dalawa yung debit, tapos isa lang yung credit, or kabaliktaran, isang debit, dalawa yung credit accounts. Okay? So, that's a compound entry. Or kapag, yan, ganito. More than 2 accounts yung involved. Okay? Alright, so that's it for this video. In the next one, ang i-discuss naman natin ay PPE, Property, Plant, and Equipment, or Non-Current Assets. Saka yung Depreciation and Depreciation Method. So, medyo halong basic and intermediate accounting. Medyo lang. Alright, that's it. Thanks and bye. If you have any suggestions for this channel, just put them in the comments. Thanks.